Zoomer Radio, AM 740, downtown Toronto, FM 96.7. Spencer Davis Group there. Give me some love. And the Happy Gang is here. Happy Gang has expanded by one. I mean, not only is Jane Brown here, of course, I'm here too. My name's Neil. But Leona Boyd is in the studio with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a privilege.
I'm an early bird anyway.
Oh, nice.
Thank goodness somebody on the show is. You know, people have been hearing your voice on the radio station in a completely different context in the last few days because you've been one of the many voices talking about how the Hollywood scene is so broken and needs to get cleaned up, as everyone talks about Harvey Weinstein right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that casting couch mentality is very widespread. I wrote a book, and it's just been re-released. It's called In My Own Key, My Life in Love and Music, and it chronicles all my experiences. And, you know, several times I tried to live in Los Angeles. I mean, I finally did succeed and got married and lived in LA, but when I went there in the 80s and actually the late 70s, that was just such a typical pattern. I was a young, pretty, innocent, trusting guitarist from Toronto. I'd go there, and these producers and agents and managers would come on to me, and I'd have to say no, and sometimes I got lured into very awkward situations in a guy's room in the Beverly Hills Hotel having a business meeting supposedly, and the next thing he's lunging at me. And so I describe all this. So I'm cynical. I mean, I think it's still probably going on and probably will never really change that much, but it's really great that women are speaking out now.
Were you surprised? Are you surprised?
No, I'm not at all surprised.
That
I'm surprised
happened?
It took so long for women to come and speak about this. But I mean, you talked about just any woman, I'm sure, and I mean, particularly, I suppose, in the entertainment business, the music business. I was a woman alone in a man's world, and such a chauvinistic attitude. They just thought that they could dangle all these career opportunities. If I'd have said yes to one, I even name him in the book, I could have played the White House. I could have played with Frank Sinatra. I could have been on the Love Boat, but the price was just too high. So I said no, but it was just so widespread. And I ended up coming back to Toronto thinking it's much safer. I don't think I can stand living in LA. They would make all kinds of promises. I lost my distribution in Greece. It's not just here in North America. In Greece, I was supposed to go and visit this guy's puppies, and then he said, my wife's out of town. And I thought, oh, here we go. And I could have had distribution in several countries, including Greece. So it's really appalling the way that men have used the power in very insidious ways, sometimes threatening. And there are women every day coming out.
It's just, it's all about...
It's an epidemic now, so you men better watch out.
Power and sex drive is what it is, right?
Too much testosterone.
Too much testosterone and too much power.
Yeah.
And vulnerability of these young women.
And poor, actresses who's like, maybe this is their big break. It's their big chance. So I almost can't blame them, because if you're a young struggling actress and you get this opportunity and it's sort of now or never, and who knows whether the men keep their part of the bargain.
Sure.
I really hope this mentality changes. We've got to enlighten men not to do this, and I'm delighted that Weinstein, you schmuck, got caught.
And so many different questions that this brings up too. How many incredibly talented people did we never get to see?
Exactly.
Because they weren't willing. Does this have anything to do with why there are no good roles for women over 40? All these
maybe we're
of,
too old to be sexual.
Right?
Well, no, but I had one not that long ago, and even in Toronto, I had to escape out of a hotel room because there was a well-known TV host. Nothing to do with this station, I'll assure you. It's a television series. But again, very deceptive. Oh, come and have dinner. We'll discuss this project. He's genuinely interested in using your music for something and has all these ideas. So I get fired up, and then I find out it's room service, and then the next thing he's trying to put his hand on me and grabbing my hand and putting it on place, and I have to say, no, I'm leaving the room. This is just terrible. And a sickening feeling. So this, over and over again, I had these experiences, and I bet you if you talk to many people in the music world and the entertainment world in particular, but it's also probably in the corporations. If you're an aspiring, ambitious woman, the boss can take advantage of you. I mean, it's nothing new, so I guess I am a bit cynical, but I hope that this exposing, people like Bill Cosby and Weinstein now, I hope it changes.
Well, there's a safety now in coming out and telling your story, right? Because
yes, exactly.
There is a
safety
support
in numbers
group around you, yeah.
Sisterhood. And anyway, I survived and I'm back on tour and I write about it, and actually in both books, but more the original autobiography that's also out, so you can read the details if you want about the French film directors. And anyway.
We'll get music on from a new album called No Remedy for Love, and if that title sounds familiar, you change one of the words and you've got a song by the person that the song is for, and we'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Also,
true.
Where you can go and see Liona performing, all that info coming in the next little bit. Right now, 8:15, Toronto traffic time. Captain Frank.
We had a couple issues on our major route drive, like northbound on the Don Valley